We're in a journey at Habitat of a changing culture where we have focused extraordinarily effectively on building houses for families in need. The problem is we can't build them fast enough.
So we think that advocacy can help us reach the other people who won't be served by our model and help change the systems that lead to them being in substandard housing conditions. By reaching out and becoming engaged in public policy, we can achieve justice rather than only looking at the charity service delivery side of things. I think advocacy is really in its infancy right now within Habitat's family within the U.S. There are states like New York that are really at the cutting edge of doing the advocacy work at the state level. We think so many other states and affiliates can model themselves after what's being done here.
And we're going to talk about public housing later today. You have a couple of options. You got limited resources, you got a family that needs to have a house and a place to stay. What do?
I lead a pretty sheltered life, I'd say, so I haven't had that much contact with people with issues with affordable housing. This will actually be my first experience with that sort of thing. Hopefully I'll learn a lot more this week.
I hear about all the foreclosures and people losing their houses, so now more than ever it's important.
I'd been involved with Habitat for almost 6 years at this point, and I've built houses, and I've been to all different states, and I love it. And I just, in seeing all the houses that need to be built, I really understood that Habitat, as wonderful as it is, can't physically build all those houses, and that legislation is the only way to kind of attack that.
Cost of housing goes over 35%. They call you housing burdened. One of the things that we wanted to do was be sure that they had an opportunity to learn what is advocacy and how is it done.
You know, you never get exactly what you want. It's all through the process of negotiation.
So we have experts coming to share with our students the fundamentals of advocacy, as well as sharing with them what Habitat's statewide legislative agenda is, which is an affordable housing trust fund at the state level.
This agenda, the initiative for a housing trust fund, this housing opportunity fund to have a greater impact on the creation of more affordable units is so important.
I could come into a room where you are right now and say, did you know that there's 1.6 billion people in the world who live in slum conditions, and then leave? Do you guys want to go next? Back together. But if I tell you that information and then ask you to sign a petition that's going to go to members of Congress who have the ability to impact those people's lives living in those slum conditions, that's advocacy. If I'm asking you to write a letter or show up at a rally or hold a sign, that's advocacy. Or if I'm asking you to have a meeting with a decision maker and just have a dialogue with them about those conditions worldwide, that's advocacy.
He said advocacy is the presentation of a cause and the subsequent negotiation that's involved in sorting out conflicting interests.
Wow. Can you read that one more time?
Sure.
We're going to sleep tonight, and is this okay forever? All right? Find yourself some housing.
So we had something called a housing simulation, and so 3 of us sat at a table and pretended to be somebody working at a homeless shelter, somebody working at public housing, someone working at a Section 8 office, to have the students go through a process.
You would like to fill out an application right here and give it to me, then come back tomorrow and I'll let you know where it looks.
Okay. Well, are you able to contribute in terms of pitching in around the shelter? I can't interact with mainstream society.
Each one of them was given a bio, and they were told they were all homeless, and they were told that there are community resources here. Go find yourself someplace to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I need some help. I left my husband's home. He was abusing me.
We're the rescue mission. We only take men, I'm sorry.
So we gave them the experience of what it's like to be a low-income homeless family applying for public housing.
Alcohol or drug problems?
I do not, no. I've been...
Okay, fill out the application. You got a place to sleep tonight.
And I think that's probably where the light bulb went off for a lot of them. They realized this process is incredibly, incredibly difficult. And even after spending 3 days of doing nothing but finding a place to put a roof over their head, about half of them were still unsuccessful. And I think that's probably when they really got it.
We'll be taking them to the Legislative Office Building to visit with a variety of members of the New York State Assembly and Senate to make the case for the statewide Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
Elected officials are totally accessible. They want to hear from their constituents desperately, and all you have to do is pick up the phone, request a meeting, and we met with a number of actual legislators face to face.
Amy, nice to meet you.
I'm Colleen Fitzgerald.
We're really simple people. We like our jobs. We don't want to be voted out of our jobs. And therefore, if the people who live in our districts tell us, this is important, we want you to focus on this, we're either going to pay attention, or we might not keep our jobs. The fact that the four of you are willing to take time off to come lobby us here in the legislature on why building and preserving affordable housing is a priority for your generation is excellent.